Imagine you're walking down a busy street surrounded by people. You notice a person collapse on the sidewalk, clearly in distress. You freeze, you look around. Surely someone else is going to help, right? But no one does. You hesitate, wondering if you should step in. What happens next? Nothing. No one helps. The person remains on the ground, and you walk away just like everyone else. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's something that happens in real life more often than you'd think. This strange phenomenon is known as the bystander effect. But what exactly is it, and why do people not help when they should? The bystander effect refers to the idea that the more people there are around a situation, the less likely it is that anyone will help. It's not because people don't care, it's more complicated than that. Psychologists say that in these moments, people think someone else will step in, but when everyone thinks this way, no one takes action. Let's take a look at where this idea comes from. The concept of the bystander effect gained attention after a famous incident in 1964. A young woman named Kitty Genovese was attacked in New York City, and it was reported that dozens of people witnessed the crime but did nothing to help her. While the details of the story were later debated, it highlighted an important question. Why do people sometimes fail to act even when they know they should? Psychologists John Darley and Bib Latané were fascinated by this question. They conducted experiments to explore how the presence of others affects a person's willingness to help. Their studies showed that when people are in a group, they often wait for others to take the lead, which delays any action or stops it altogether. So, why do people hesitate to help? There are a few psychological reasons behind the bystander effect. When you're the only person around and someone needs help, it's clear that it's your responsibility to do something. But if there are a lot of people present, the responsibility spreads out among everyone. You think, someone else will take care of it. The problem is everyone else is thinking the same thing. This is called diffusion of responsibility. The more people there are, the less personal responsibility each person feels. Humans are social creatures, and we often look to others to decide how we should behave, especially in unfamiliar situations. When you're in a crowd and no one else is reacting to a problem, you may think it's not that serious. You might assume that if no one else is doing anything, you shouldn't either. We're influenced by the people around us, and this can lead to inaction. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to help but worried you might do something wrong or make a fool of yourself? This is another reason people hold back. No one wants to be the person who misreads the situation or makes things worse. This fear of standing out can paralyze people from taking any action at all. While the bystander effect is common, it's not always guaranteed. There are certain factors that can make someone more or less likely to help. Let's take a look at a few of these. The number of people present. The larger the group, the less likely it is that someone will step in. This is because of diffusion of responsibility, as we mentioned earlier. On the flip side, if only one or two people are present, they are much more likely to take action. The severity of the situation. People are more likely to help in situations that appear serious or life-threatening. If it's unclear whether help is needed, people might hesitate longer. However, if the person's distress is obvious, like someone being injured, people are more likely to step in. Relationship to the person in need. If the person in need is a friend or family member, people are far more likely to help. In contrast, if the person is a stranger, they might wait to see if someone else will assist. Skill or knowledge. Sometimes people don't help because they don't feel qualified. If the situation requires medical attention and they don't know first aid, they might wait for someone more knowledgeable to arrive. But if they're trained to help, they're much more likely to jump in. Cultural differences. Different cultures have different norms about helping behavior. In some places, people are raised to believe that helping strangers is a moral duty, while in other cultures, people might be more cautious about intervening. These cultural differences can play a big role in how quickly someone reacts in an emergency. The bystander effect doesn't just happen in emergencies, it can occur in everyday situations too. Let's explore a couple of real-life examples. Cyberbullying. With the rise of social media, the bystander effect has moved online. Imagine seeing someone being bullied in the comments section of a post. Many people might see the hurtful messages but won't speak up, thinking someone else will defend the victim. Unfortunately, when everyone stays silent, the bullying continues. Workplace harassment. In the workplace, someone might witness a colleague being treated unfairly or harassed but choose not to speak up. They may feel that it's not their place to intervene or assume someone else will handle the issue. This allows the harassment to go unchecked. Medical emergencies in public spaces. If someone falls down in a busy place like a park or mall, lots of people might see it but not do anything. They might think someone else will call for help. This can make the situation worse for the person who needs help. Apartment building issues. In an apartment building, residents might see problems like noisy neighbors or broken things but choose not to report them. They might think that someone else will handle it or that they don't want to cause trouble. This can lead to the problems not getting fixed. These examples show how the bystander effect can take many forms, from public emergencies to quiet moments behind screens or in offices. It's a powerful psychological phenomenon that can stop us from doing the right thing, even when we know we should act. Now that we understand why the bystander effect happens, the next question is, how can we overcome it? Thankfully, there are strategies that can help us become better bystanders and take action when it's needed. The first step in overcoming the bystander effect is simply being aware of it. Knowing that people tend to freeze in groups can help you recognize when it's happening. If you notice that no one is helping in a situation, remind yourself that it's easy to fall into this pattern, and then take action. Take personal responsibility. When you're in a crowd, make a conscious decision to take responsibility. Don't assume someone else will step in. If you see someone in need, don't wait. Act. Even small actions like calling for help or checking on someone can make a huge difference. If you step up, others are likely to follow. Remember, people look to others to see how they should behave. By being the first to act, you might inspire others around you to join in. Educate others. The more people know about the bystander effect, the better they can respond. Share this information with friends, family, or your community. When more people understand the psychological barriers that stop them from helping, they'll be more likely to take action in the future. The bystander effect is a powerful psychological phenomenon that explains why we sometimes don't help when we should. But understanding it gives us the power to break free from it. The next time you find yourself in a situation where someone needs help, don't wait for someone else to act. Be the person who makes a difference. Whether it's lending a hand in an emergency, standing up to cyberbullying, or speaking out in the workplace, your actions can inspire others to do the same. So, will you be a bystander or will you step in and help?